Have you ever been captivated by the humorous and magical moments in the movie I Dream of Jeannie? However, behind the glamour of the talented cast lie tragic real-life stories, from addiction and divorce to unexpected deaths. What really happened after the movie ended? Let's explore the truth and celebrate the legacy they left behind. Let's find out. Larry Hagman as Major Anthony Nelson. Larry Martin Hagman, born September 21, 1931, is one of the most memorable faces on American television. At age 34, he was cast as Major Anthony Nelson, a handsome Air Force pilot and the love interest of Jeannie, played by Barbara Eden, in the hit comedy series I Dream of Jeannie from 1965 to 1970. This role not only made Hagman a star, but also cemented his image in television history with his humorous, romantic, and approachable personality. But behind that glamorous exterior, Hagman soon faced immense emotional trauma after his parents' divorce when he was young, forcing him to live separately from his mother with his grandmother. He grew up feeling deprived of affection and burdened by the pressure of his mother's fame, the film star Mary Martin. These childhood instabilities silently sowed deep-seated insecurity in Hagman, leading him to seek solace in alcohol. When he rose to fame playing J.R. Ewing in the Dallas series, 1978 to 1991, audiences saw a cunning and ruthless Hagman on screen. But in real life, he was struggling with an increasingly uncontrollable alcohol addiction, putting immense pressure on his family and threatening his marriage to his wife, Maj Axelson, who had been by his side for nearly 40 years. The crisis culminated in 1992, when Hagman was diagnosed with cirrhosis, the result of decades of substance and alcohol abuse. In 1995, he underwent a liver transplant to survive, while still trying to maintain his image as an artist through several impressive supporting roles, such as in the 1998 film Primary Colors. Despite his severely declining health and spirits, illness continued to plague him. In 2011, he was diagnosed with nasopharyngeal cancer, forcing him to undergo surgery to remove a tumor on his tongue and continue chemotherapy. However, he still managed to return to the role of J.R. Ewing in the 2012 remake of Dallas, as a way to cling to what little of his legacy remained. Not long after, in July 2012, Hagman was diagnosed with myelodysplastic syndrome, which later progressed to acute myeloid leukemia, leading to his death on November 23, 2012, in Dallas, at the age of 81. He passed away surrounded by loved ones on Thanksgiving, bringing to a close a journey that was both tragic and proud. At the time of his death, his net worth was estimated at approximately $15 million, the culmination of a lifetime of dedication through works such as I Dream of Jeannie, Dallas, and dozens of others, leaving behind the image of an icon both glorious and deeply sorrowful. Bill Daly, whose real name was William Edward Daly, born on August 30, 1927, played Major Roger Healy and was a familiar face on American television. At the age of 38, he joined the legendary comedy series I Dream of Jeannie 1965-1970 as Major Roger Healy, the witty, loyal, and often troublesome friend of pilot Anthony Nelson, contributing to the show's charming, humorous, and lighthearted nature. This role made Bill Daly an icon of 1960s comedy. However, Bill Daly's real life was far from the simple and cheerful world depicted on screen. As a child, he suffered a devastating blow when his father left just 2 weeks after his birth, leaving him with a turbulent and emotionally deprived childhood. Upon growing up and marrying Patricia Anderson, Daly hoped for a peaceful life, but that marriage ended in divorce in 1976, leaving him a single father raising 2 children. The tragedy was compounded by the death of Daly's son at a young age, leaving him with unimaginable grief, a wound that never truly healed. Even as he continued working in television with series such as The Bob Newhart Show from 1972 to 1978. Following the turmoil of his first marriage, Daly sought new happiness with his second wife, Vivian Sanchez, and later married Becky. But these later marriages were also marked by divorce or tragedy, particularly Becky's death in 2010. Throughout this time, Daly persevered in his passion for acting, occasionally appearing in shows like ALF in 1986, although he struggled to balance family responsibilities and the fading spotlight. He passed away on September 4, 2018, in Santa Fe, New Mexico, at the age of 91. His net worth was estimated at approximately $4 million US, largely due to his decades-long career in sitcoms, which would forever engrave the image of an actor with a warm heart and an enduring smile. Hayden Rourke as Dr. Alfred Bellows. William Henry Rourke, whose real name was Hayden Rourke, was born on October 23, 1910, in Brooklyn, New York, and was a veteran figure in American television. At the age of 55, he made a strong impression playing the suspicious psychiatrist Alfred E. Bellows in the legendary comedy series I Dream of Jeannie, from 1965 to 1970. Rourke's portrayal of the colonel who constantly tried to uncover the absurd secrets surrounding pilot Tony Nelson became an iconic part of the memories of television viewers in the 1960 XC. But behind the stern and authoritative image on screen, Rourke carries many wounds. Born into an artistic family with a famous actress mother, Rourke faced the harsh pressures of Hollywood early on, along with a broken marriage to actress and dancer Marie Windsor, leaving him with deep emotional scars. The seemingly endless glamour brought him countless lonely nights, as Rourke had to conceal his true identity in a society still rife with prejudice. Although he later found peace with his partner Eustace Addis, the shadow of depression continued to weigh him down, especially when he took on some minor roles, such as in the 1951 film An American in Paris. But he never truly escaped the feeling of being abandoned by Hollywood. In his later years, Rourke returned to the stage, hoping to rekindle his passion through the 1980 play, The Pleasure of His Company. But his health quickly deteriorated when he was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, a devastating and painful form of cancer. As his condition worsened, Rourke became increasingly withdrawn, less communicative, and received only encouragement from a few close friends on the Jeannie film crew. In his final months, he strived to maintain the image of a polite and resilient man, but loneliness weighed heavily on his heart. Hayden Rourke died on August 19, 1987, at his home in Toluca Lake, ending a 76-year life filled with both light and darkness. His net worth at the time of his death was estimated at approximately $2 million, largely due to his long television career, leaving behind the legacy of a dedicated artist who brought laughter but also experienced much bitterness behind the scenes. Paul Lynde as Alan Kerr. Born on June 13, 1926, in Mount Vernon, Ohio, Paul Lynde was a sharp and unique American television comedian. At age 39, he appeared in the 1965 film I Dream of Jeannie as Alan Kerr, delivering a satirical humor and distinctive style that audiences will never forget. Lynde was also famous for his role as Uncle Arthur in Bewitched, and was a central figure in Hollywood comedy television shows for many years, becoming one of the most popular comedians of the 1960s and 1970s. But behind that smile, Lynde carried unspoken wounds. He had to live in secrecy about his homosexuality in a society still rife with prejudice, which placed immense pressure on his private life. Losses from his childhood, such as the death of his beloved older brother in World War II, and the sudden deaths of his parents, left him with a heavy psychological burden. In his loneliness, Lynde succumbed to alcohol and drug addiction, leading to numerous scandals and reckless acts, including the death of a young friend who fell from a height at a hotel in 1965 after a drunken party with him. Although he later attempted to rebuild his life and successfully overcame his addiction in 1980, Lynde still faced deteriorating health due to years of substance abuse. Before his death, he frequently appeared on television, bringing laughter to viewers, but the fatigue and stress never completely disappeared. On January 10, 1982, he was found dead in his sleep from a heart attack. At the age of 55, his net worth at the time of his death was estimated at approximately $3 million, largely derived from the success of the TV series Bewitched and other popular comedy shows. Emmeline Henry as Amanda Bellows. Born on November 1, 1928, Emmeline Henry was a beautiful and charming American television actress. At age 37, she took on the role of Amanda Bellows, the sophisticated and sometimes witty wife of Dr. Alfred Bellows, in the popular comedy series I Dream of Jeannie, 1965 to 1970, contributing to the show's colorful and humorous world. This role made Emmeline Henry a familiar face to audiences for generations. But behind the spotlight, Emmeline's life was far from smooth. She endured a tumultuous marriage to actor and director Paul Henreid, which ended in early 1955 and left her deeply wounded. The loneliness and demanding nature of acting left Emmeline constantly insecure, especially as she had to maintain her comedic on-screen persona while concealing her personal sorrows. After guest appearances on The Bob Newhart Show, 1972-1, 1978, and Three's Company, 1979, Emmeline still couldn't find stable, long-term work, leaving her mental state more unstable than ever. Tragedy struck when Emmeline discovered she had a malignant brain tumor in the late 1976, a disease that robbed her of her strength and forced her to spend her final days in pain and exhaustion. Although she tried to continue working until her last role in 8 is Enough, 1979, she could not escape her cruel fate as her health rapidly deteriorated. In her final weeks, she endured pain, sharing little with the outside world, yet maintaining an optimistic smile to encourage colleagues and loved ones. Emmeline Henry breathed her last on October 8, 1979, in California at the age of 50, and was buried at Holy Cross Cemetery, where her name remains inscribed as a beautiful memory. Her net worth at the time was estimated at approximately $1 million, primarily from her television and film roles, leaving behind the legacy of a warm-hearted actress whose life was tragically short. Judy Carn as herself, Joyce Audrey Botterill, known to audiences by her stage name Judy Carn, was born on April 27, 1939, in Northampton, England, and began her Hollywood career at age 26 when she appeared as herself in the 1965 film I Dream of Jeannie. Carn quickly made her mark with her catchphrase, "Sock it to me," on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, turning her into a television phenomenon of the late 1960s thanks to her witty, charming, and uniquely confident acting style. However, behind the laughter, Judy Carn's life was full of tragedy. 2 failed marriages, including her famous one to Burt Reynolds, left deep emotional wounds on her. Carney succumbed to heroin addiction, leading to multiple arrests and even imprisonment, ruining both her career and public image. A 1978 car accident broke her neck, a near-fatal tragedy that plunged her deeper into addiction. Despite attempts to start over, financial difficulties and mental health issues caused Judy to almost disappear from the screen, although she did reappear at some Laugh-In reunion events in the 1990 SE. She moved back to England to live a quiet life, as if wanting to escape the spotlight that had deeply hurt her. Judy Carn died of pneumonia on September 3, 2015, at the age of 76. Her net worth at the end of her life was only about $1 million, reflecting a once brilliant career that faded due to addiction and scandal. However, for the audience, Judy will forever be the strong, resilient girl who never hesitated to reveal her true pain through her autobiography, as a way to confront and overcome adversity. Farrah Fawcett, whose real name is Cindy Farrah Fawcett, was born on February 2, 1947, in Corpus Christi, Texas. She gradually conquered Hollywood and became a global beauty icon of the 1970s. At age 18, she appeared as Cindy in the 1965 film I Dream of Jeannie, laying the foundation for her later brilliant career. Her role as Jill Monroe in Charlie's Angels propelled her to fame, transforming her blonde hair and radiant smile into a legendary image. Beyond her screen success, Fawcett also left a lasting impression with her iconic poster featuring her in a red swimsuit, which went viral worldwide. However, behind the glamour, Farrah's life was filled with bitter upheavals. Her marriage to Lee Majors ended, and her tumultuous relationship with Ryan O'Neal broke her heart multiple times, especially when Ryan was accused of domestic violence by his daughter. Her only son, Redmond, became embroiled in legal troubles and struggled with addiction, causing Farrah immeasurable suffering. She herself has faced rumors of substance abuse, which have damaged her impeccable image in the media. The greatest tragedy in Fawcett's life was her courageous battle against anal cancer, which began in 2006. The insidious disease persisted, recurred, and metastasized to her liver, forcing her to undergo a series of painful treatments. The images of Farrah battling cancer in the documentary The Story of Farrah have inspired many, despite her own suffering from exhaustion, loss, and profound loneliness as her illness progressed. Farrah Fawcett passed away on June 25, 2009, at the age of 62, leaving an estimated net worth of $20 million, largely thanks to the success of Charlie's Angels and lucrative advertising deals. Her legacy is not only a brilliant career, but also the image of a resilient star who dared to live authentically and fight to the very end. Barton McLean as General Martin Peterson. Born on December 25, 1902, in Columbia, South Carolina, Barton McLean was a renowned American film actor for decades. At age 63, he took on the role of the stern Air Force General Martin Peterson in the film series I Dream of Jeannie, 1965 to 1969, contributing to the film's sharp and humorous tone. This role vividly portrayed the strength and seriousness of the military within Jeannie's chaotic and fantastical world. But behind that powerful image, Barton McLean faced hidden pains. 2 failed marriages, first to actress Layla Bliss and then to Margot, left him with deep emotional wounds, causing him to suffer for many years. Outwardly, McLean remained strong, continuing to dedicate himself to outstanding performances such as The Maltese Falcon 1941 and The Treasure of the Sierra Madre 1948. But inwardly he carried a deep loneliness and insecurity. His nearly 40-year career was constantly burdened by the pressures of fame and a sense of emptiness in love that he rarely shared. In his later years, McLean chose to retire to a cattle ranch in Madera County to seek peace. But fate was cruel when he contracted double pneumonia, a terrible disease that rapidly weakened his health. He was hospitalized in late 1968, but despite treatment efforts, he did not recover and passed away on New Year's Day 1969 at the age of 66. His death came so suddenly, leaving a void in the hearts of fans who still cherished the charismatic image of General Peterson on the small screen. McLean is buried at Valhalla Memorial Park Cemetery, bringing to a close the life of a great talent. With an estimated net worth of $1.5 million from dozens of successful film and television projects. That legacy is a testament to a resilient and strong artist, even though he also suffered much loss and pain after the spotlight faded. Vinton Hayworth as General Winfield Schaefer. Vinton Hayworth, born June 4, 1906, in Washington, D.C., was one of the veteran faces of 20th century American television. At age 63, he took on the role of General Winfield Schaefer, the respected general who replaced General Martin Peterson in the final 2 seasons of I Dream of Jeannie, 1969 to 1970. Bringing a tough yet humorous style to the chaotic world of Jeannie and pilot Tony Nelson, this role deeply impressed audiences and solidified Hayworth's place in television history. However, few know that behind the glamour, Vinton Hayworth struggled to overcome the immense professional pressures. Born into a prominent artistic family, the uncle of film star Rita Hayworth and a relative of Ginger Rogers, he carried immense expectations from a young age. Despite a stable marriage to actress Mary E. Hayworth, Vinton continued to work tirelessly in his later years, with a demanding filming schedule and a constant stream of television and stage productions, from Perry Mason to Disney's Zorro, which gradually weakened his physical health. This relentless career also inadvertently pushed Vinton into a cycle of burnout that he rarely spoke about. After taking on the role of General Schaefer, replacing the recently deceased Barton McLean, Vinton seemed unwilling to rest, despite signs of declining health. Just weeks after completing the final episodes of I Dream of Jeannie, he died suddenly of a severe heart attack on May 21, 1970, at the age of 63. Vinton Hayworth's legacy includes over 90 roles on the big screen, with an estimated net worth of approximately $1 million. Michael Ansara, whose real name was Michael Ansara, was born on April 15, 1922, in a small village in the Syrian-Lebanese border region. He was one of the familiar faces on American television in the 1960s. At the age of 43, he brilliantly portrayed Blue Jin in the 1965 film I Dream of Jeannie, delivering a powerful yet mysterious character that left a lasting impression on viewers. Furthermore, he made a strong impression with his roles as Cochise in Broken Arrow and Commander Kang in Star Trek, affirming his versatile acting talent across Western, science fiction, and biblical epic genres. However, Ansara's personal life was turbulent. His 15-year marriage to Barbara Eden, his co-star and real-life Jeannie, was once admired by the public but ultimately ended in 1974, leaving him to live in solitude and face the pressure of raising his son Matthew while still maintaining his acting career. The pain was compounded when his only son died from a heroin overdose in 2001, leaving the elderly father heartbroken. In his final years, Ansara faced the devastating effects of Alzheimer's disease, which gradually eroded his memory and mental acuity. although no serious bad habits were widely reported. His busy career, 2 failed marriages before finding happiness with his 3rd wife, and the grief of losing his son contributed to a rather somber old age. Ansara passed away peacefully on July 31, 2013, at the age of 91, and was buried alongside his son at Forest Lawn Memorial Park Cemetery. His estimated net worth of approximately $5 million is testament to a vast career spanning from the Star Trek series to memorable villainous roles, leaving behind an unforgettable talent in American film history.